Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 9th of June. And here we're looking at the ASX on the 4-hour chart. And we can see here that I've adjusted the structure a little bit in terms of, well, we still have wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2 here, then wave 1 and 2 here. And from wave 2 we're going up to wave 3 here. And between wave 2 and wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of a smaller degree, which will be these blue ones here, 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here to make up that third wave, then the fourth, then the fifth to the upside. So between the blue wave 2 and the blue wave 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves to the upside in terms of wave 1 and 2 here, and going up for wave 3 here. So just adjust that here. So that will take us higher. We'll have a look at this anyway, but just get the gist that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, then the fourth, and then the fifth, and then the third, then the fourth, and then still we need 5 waves in let's go to the next biggest picture. Let's have a look at the big picture today. So what I'm saying here is that we're getting a very powerful third of the third here. So this is a bullish structure that's going to continue. So this means that we can start to look to buy the banks off the lows. And we'll have a look at that today as well. But I want to go from the 4-hour chart. I think I'll just go straight to the monthly chart here and look at this picture here. So this is the GFC over here. Move down through here. We can't count this move up here as 5 waves because this overlapping wave structure between wave 4 and wave 1 here, if we were going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So the only other way to count it really is to look at this here as an A and a B and a C for the A wave, the B wave here, and then the C wave here for wave B, then down for a wave C of 4. So wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then we're going up for wave 5. So we're going up for wave 1 at the moment, and wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to be in, from far as I can see it, we're going to be in a bullish market for quite some time here. Of course, we'll gather evidence along the way and we'll take it step by step. But from this wave 4 here, if we go to the weekly chart just to get a bit more perspective on it, well, from this wave 4 here, we're looking at intermediate wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here just to make wave 1 at the top here, pull back for 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff really. And if we go to the daily chart here now, then you'll see that from the black wave 4 here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're going up for wave 3, intermediate wave 3, intermediate wave 4, intermediate wave 5 to make primary wave 1, and then an ABC here, and then we'll be going up here for wave 3 there, which I can use. I don't need these guys here. Don't need these. I'll need those later. It's a bit early to have that there. So, let's see how we go with this particular structure. I mean, the world's in a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's got nothing to do with the markets apparently. So, but this is what we're seeing here. But we'll just take it step by step. But the beginning of this moving up through here, we are seeing the banks move up. So let's just have a quick look at the banks now. So I'll won't have the codes in them, but this is A and Z here. And let's just consider this for a moment. So first of all, always like to look at the trading level. So we're looking at a major level here for this now, which is 20. So we know that we're going to get some sort of little reaction from this space here at some point, probably Thursday or something. We'll see something. Whoops, a daisy. We'll see some sort of corrective thing there, but eventually we'll see this push up from there as well. So we don't want to buy going into the $20 area here. We want to wait for a pullback, or at least we want to wait for support sitting on the 20 here. If we get support on the 20, then we can move to the upside there for that. We've been looking at the Bank of Queensland because it had a nice move up off the low here. And if we take this as the low here, the other interesting point here though is that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we've got an impulse wave here. This will also meet a medium level here very shortly at 650. But this also could be counted as wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 1 and 2, and then going up into a third wave. So it could play out a little bit differently here. But I think we need to be a little bit patient because there's nowhere to put the stop here for this. Because if this is, if this is 5 waves to the upside here, if we just look at this here, it could have from the top here, it could pull back to 61.8%. I don't think it's going to pull that far back because of where the indices are, but there will be some sort of pullback in it. So what we're really looking for here with these banks is a way to get in. If we have a look at CBA, for instance, it's a little bit tricky to count this. I understand this here. We can look at this as 1 and 2 here, but do we look at this as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, or do we look at this as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C wave for 2 here, up to 3, 4 and 5 here, which would probably be about right. We're coming into 70 here, but you know that 72 are normally used a lot. So what we want to do is we want to see, now these banks have gotten this far here, we want to find these highs here, and we want to see a move back from the highs, and then that high will give us that will be the catalyst for, finding this high here will be the catalyst for going long again, but also we can use the second high. And also too, if we can figure out the pullback is a corrective move, well then we can buy in lower as well. We don't want to buy here. Yes, it will move up further and then fold back again as well, because if you bought here, you have to leave the stop under here somewhere, under the medium level down here. We did talk about going long off this tops here before, so but as a medium level here, we're looking for that correction, so buying that new high here and keeping the stop under here would be okay, but we'll just have to wait for another pullback in terms of that, and Westpac will be the same as well. It still needs to make a new high here, but it'll also run into $20 here, which is a major level as well. So once again, we'll just have a little bit of patience. We'll wait for that sort of little pullback in here, because any buying here would need the stop lower here, unless you're just buying shares for a portfolio or something like that. Well, then that's a little bit different at that point. So we'll just let these play out. I'll just have a quick look at the banking sector. Same here again as well. We can look at this as 1 ABC for 2 here, then 1 ABC for 2 here. Nice strong third wave coming into play, fourth and fifth here for that wave. Yeah, wave 2 was complicated, so wave 4 is simple. 56 is a bit of a special number, but otherwise 58 here. But once again, all we're looking for here, what we need to be looking for here, is somewhere up here a bit high, just some sort of little pullback that we can move into, because we have to wait, because we need somewhere to put the stop, and then when it comes to risk reward, we need that, the stop and the entry as close as we can get them within reason, and that just makes the risk reward ratio better overall. Otherwise, chasing the market here will just get us, especially with CFDs, but stocks, if you're holding longer term, then not a problem for that. But let's allow this to play out first. All right, so we've had a look at the banks, and just to recap the banks, we basically know that they can push a little bit higher, perhaps even Thursday pullback. We could look at getting into those banks buying Thursday afternoon and then into Friday morning and Friday afternoon and Monday morning in the bullish weekly cycle in that space. Now I want to go back to where we are here for this particular market here. Now that we know that we're looking for a bullish market, we're also past from the high here, where not that it's the end of the world, but the 61.8%, we're basically at that now. But I can see that this, and it might vibrate here for a while, but the structure is not completed to the upside here. Once we get support on the medium level here, 6,500, that's going to help us a lot in terms of finding that as support, confirming that we've got a more bullish market here. So we still need to be a little bit mindful of the situation, but it's time to bring out the big account. But as I mentioned, we need to bring evidence into the structure, into the count. So steady as she goes. So in counting it up here from wave 2 here, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here. And from that 2 here, we're looking up to wave 3 here. And we're looking for 5 waves between that structure of 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 in blue. So coming into blue wave 2 to blue wave 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3. Then wave 4 and wave 5 here. So at the moment we're going from wave 2 to wave 3 here, and I need to do a little bit of work in here, but we kind of see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming into this space here. But I just need to focus, I need to spend a bit of time in there. But that said, let's just continue to move in. So from wave 2 to here, 2 to here, 2 to here, we're looking at from wave 2 to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. Wave 1 is clear to me. Wave 2 is clear. I've got this extra little hump here for this, as I mentioned before, but maybe I need to look at this as 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. For the third wave, 4th wave here, and then the 5th wave up here. For the 5th wave up here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and across for 4 here, and then we'll be looking up for 5 here. So what we want to do now is just look at this structure in a little bit more detail. So we'll look to go to the 15-minute chart here. And on the 15-minute chart, we've got, well, from wave 4 here, we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 and 2, nice strong third wave here, ABC for the 4th wave here, and then we've got wave 1 here and 2 here. So in this case, I'm looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here to take us up to 6,200. So that's the target to go to. So you want to be, we can go long here. It's Tuesday, so we can expect Tuesday, well, at least the afternoon, to be pushing up. We need to be mindful of the bullish weekly cycle, where we can have you know, if Friday is strong, then Monday will follow through. Tuesday can have a bit of profit taking, and then the trend resumes. Wednesday is a bit more of a V-day, a bit deeper of a move on Wednesday morning and closing higher in the afternoon. And Thursday can open a bit higher and then trade down for the day. And then Friday starts off again, and then Monday, and so on. So that's kind of that's the bullish weekly cycle, and it's good to understand that. And you can throw tomatoes at it if you want, but once you kind of like look at it and work with it, it becomes very handy indeed. It helps you understand what's going on a little bit more, and if you use it with the wave count and the support and the resistance as levels, it becomes a nice little situation to work with. So we have support on 6,100. So 6,100 is part of group 1 of 6,000. So 100, 200 and 300. If we get support on top of 300, then we're going to be pushing up to 6,500, the next level. So Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3 and 5. So getting support on here is what it's all about. And we can expect a bigger correction across this level here. That can pull down to 2, normally pulls down to halfway there to the 250. We'll see how that plays out there, but support here really confirms that we're going to be going up to this level. And if that's the case, then that count that I've just showed you, the big bullish count, well, then that makes that come alive even more at that point. Getting support, as I mentioned before, if we get support on 6,500, that will basically tell us that we're on the right track. But we'll be able to do that earlier at this level here at 6,300. So very exciting indeed. So start thinking about longer term share trades, and the banks would be the way to go for that. And as I mentioned before, the banks are tied to the property market. I don't know how much they've got invested in it. Some of them like 60-70% or something like that. Those banks are guaranteed. Cash deposits are guaranteed to $250,000 from the government. So the banks are really looking after them. The government is feeding more money into the banks. The banks, the stamp duty of properties being sold is about $72 billion a year, which is about 21% of the government's revenue. So they're going to be looking after those banks. So, and the banks are at the lows at the moment, where the commodities are a bit higher. So they'll be the ones to have longer term trades in. Okay, so back to reality, one step at a time. We were looking for support on 6,000. We've got that. Now we've got support on 6,100. We'll be looking for support on 6,200. If you're going to be getting out of the markets, then 6,200 will be the go, but we want to wait for support to come in here again, and then we want to push up to 3,000 up here. We're going to leave the stop under any trades that you've got in at the moment. We're just lifting the stop up to here, and you can enter it again at this point. Alrighty, I don't need to recap, but just want to thank you for supporting Trading Lounge, and cheers.